to News of the Week from the Goblin News Network. I'm your reporter, Nanami Clyde. First story coming right up. Final Fantasy XIV actually gives you a free month if you're coming back for 3.2 Gears of Change. However, get to it by April 13th by 7 o'clock to get your free month. Next story coming up, and it's a big one. Final Fantasy XV Collector's Edition sold out, but there's reports they're going to come out with more because unfortunately there's a lot of mean people out there that hover over the buying button and buy tens to hundreds copies of the Ultimate Collector's Edition so they can turn it around and sell it on eBay. The Collector's Edition normally sells for $269.99. However, as you're going to see to my left, on eBay, people are going to be selling it for $600 and more. And I do say it's unfair because they're going to have robots who purposely hover around the Sony's own store. And within a fraction of a second, they'll buy it. Next story coming up. Final Fantasy XI. Say goodbye, consoles. You're turning off. The only Final Fantasy XI now is on PC. But at PlayOnline.com, you can get to a client window to transfer your accounts from the 360 and PlayStation on. And this is Nanami Clyde signing off for Goblin News Network. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I literally got a monkey on my back while I'm playing the game. However, that will not stop Nanami Clyde, roaming reporter, on how to give the tip of the day! The tip is using the Crystal Network in your towns. Oh my goodness, my little girl is literally grabbing the hand off my mouse and putting it in. I don't know if I can actually complete the tip of the day today. She is not going to let me, but I'm going to try. Tip number 1, in every city there is a main crystal called an aetheryte. You can actually click on it and enter the Ethernet. I was a nitwit and didn't realize this until level 45. And I was always going to the map and finding the closest crystal. I thought that was super silly and wish they had one next to the aetheryte. Not really, realizing the aetheryte is indeed part of the Ethernet network. So yes, just turn around, click on it, and you can go to all the different locations. Tip number 2 about a city's crystal network. Oh my gosh, she's literally climbing on my head, gentlemen. I'm not sure, ladies, I'm not sure I'm able to finish this. Once you have tuned to all the crystals, you can actually then automatically, oh my goodness, I can't do this. Oh, the conditions. Oh my goodness. Once you get all the once you get all the Ethernet shots in the city, you'll open up portals or teleportation options to the 2 areas right outside the city. For example, in the city of Granda, I can go to the Blue Gadget Gate, click in here, and you automatically teleport to the Central Shroud outside the city gates. One of the nice things about Final Fantasy XIV is the very liberal use of teleportation, so use it!
I'll see you in this video.
Oh my god, what a horrible video. Question of the week, Nanami Clyde reporting. Question! Here it comes. What do you think of Final Fantasy XI console service shutting down, and what do you think about the mobile version? Mixcomer responds, well, I can't really say as I never played that one. I only played PC games to begin with, so I don't have an opinion. Knight also says, I never played Final Fantasy XI. Millennia says, Final Fantasy XI is ruined either way. I ask, why do you say that? And I clap for him. This is just joining in the conversation there. Let's see, I'm typing. I asked Knight, is this your first MMO? Knight was somebody I met down the corridor. She was talking to me as we were talking about the treasures. Millennia, have you seen the crap they added since the treasures of Akelgun? The bleep is junk! Knight, this is my second MMO. Clyde responds, honestly, no. I stopped playing at treasures. Knight, are you... Oh, I asked Knight, are you liking it? Millennia, treasures was fantastic. Wings of the Goddess is when the game started to crash. Clyde. I love it at that point, but college made me fall off the game. What they do to it after, I heard complaints about the raised level. Again, this is from Mr. Happy. He liked the fact that these games were more about the horizontal, leveling other classes, not necessarily vertical, going all the way up to, as Millennia just said, the cap level was raised to 99. It didn't add a lot to the game. It was just, they basically just added another hamster wheel for you to circle through, but it didn't make the game more fun. Millennia, they will eventually do this to this game too. Again, a lot of us are hoping they may stop at 75 and focus on other classes, other things to do to help support the community, rather than everyone's just focusing on the higher levels. As other games like WoW. Nanami Clyde, true, I like the idea that you, like basically I just said, you level upwards, but even at level 60, the button smashing, even with macros, is getting tough. Again, from Mr. Happy, every 2 levels we're getting a new skill. Our entire screen is being filled with buttons. If we go to level 100, that's going to be insane. Millennia, I don't like how the WoW-based crap in this game. I apologize for my French, I'm just reading it off. Millennia, it should have kept it Final Fantasy. Again, in comparison to 11-14, 11 was a lot menu-based like traditional games, while this one took a lot of page work from WoW. Some people like it, some people don't. And here we go, we have Dancing Miss Gomez. Millennia, it should be difficult. Make you work for your levels. Quit pampering to the noobs. Obviously, it's that whole hardcore casual debate. Games have opened up, they're trying to make it easier, they're trying to get more people to actually finish the game, and doing that, they're making it so the game is more soloable, there's less social interaction, less forced social interaction. Again, here I'm saying, Nanami Clyde, Mass Effect 2 changed all that. Ever since the data on the game came out, only I think 30% of people actually finished the game, and they started making games easier. Again, the people who make the games, they spent years making these games. And when they finally started coming out with data that only half of their players are finishing the games, a lot of those guys stepped back and made their games easier so more people can enjoy the story. Millennia. Gaming is meant to be a challenge. It's not supposed to be easy. Alright, cutting here to the Nether City with Elise Argo. Same question. I wasn't aware they were going down, but that's terrible for all those users on them still. Kinda rad it's going on mobile though. Again, we do not know how it's going mobile. We don't know if it's a direct port. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of changes. I'm not sure about the story. It's still up in the air. Dang, I used to play on PlayStation 2 back in the day. I'm talking to one of my guildmates, Brutus. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't really play Final Fantasy 11. I got a copy of it for free for my CPU, and at the same time it was on sale on Amazon. So a bunch of my friends bought it as well. He's talking about Final Fantasy 14 because I was asking him why I didn't hear. Now we're at Reddit Bruin. He goes, I'm surprised it's here to go to mobile, actually. I thought the game was ending entirely. There was a lot of false reports about Final Fantasy 11. Only the consoles were shutting down. The PC is still going on for the foreseeable future. That being said, if the game is still up, I don't see why they would limit it from other platforms. Keep them going, he's basically saying. Sounds like it just forced players to migrate to the PC. And he's basically saying, I know some console gamers never really bother to set up a gaming PC. And then I mentioned they did offer all PlayStation and Xbox players a free move to the PC, which is nice. So other companies wouldn't even bother. Still, mobile and tablet, can't help but wonder how that affect the playstyle. Again, I was just saying, we don't know what's going to be lost in that transition. Clyde, it's going to be a wait and see. At least computers from Final Fantasy XI won't be as expensive to run. It's an old game, so it'll be easy to run it. I mean, a 360 can run it. Newer games can run it too. Here I'm at Tabioko. Asks the question. The response should be interesting. I ask him if he can play Final Fantasy XI. He says yes! Not a talkative one. He could be on the PlayStation, which is much harder to, talk to using type. What do you think the two games compare? He says this one's better. I ask how so. This one is soloable and Final Fantasy is not. Again, from the discussions we had earlier, a lot of people like Final Fantasy 14 because it does not require them to be in a party. They don't have to take the time to get guys together. Final Fantasy 11, there was points where I was stuck at level 20 waiting around for a bunch of guys to get together just so I could finish the story quest. And in the end, I stopped playing the story because it was too hard to get a party. And now I have kids, so Final Fantasy XIV makes it easy. Yoko, I played it back in the day and I love it, but I couldn't have played it now for that reason. It took forever to get a party, and then I agreed with him. And then I thanked him for his time. Do you need help with anything? And that's it for the question of the week! What's this? A glint in the corner of my eye? A curious scent? Wafting on the winds from a far-off land? Do I smell a case? Worry not for me, my friends. Forever the wrong wants a sucker. I Hildebrand shall be there. Till we meet again!